Well, howdy y'all. This is Hamid. Taking a little stroll down to the river. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. The community recently put out Christmas trees along the river to provide some salmon habitat. The crows are calling. So I just had a technology upgrade. My new camera is being utilized right now. This is a DJI Pocket 3 on a gimbal. And I think it may be a really, really neat machine. I've also got this DJI Mic Mini with noise reduction on standard. There's a boat going by. And I thought I'd take you out to some of my favorite places where I like to come out and find sticks and whittle. There are often some interesting creations out here by the river. Well, since it's such a nice day, I thought I'd come out here and talk about my fixed blade knife collection. I've been a licensed massage therapist for the past 22 years or so. Since 2002, I've been licensed, and so I've kept my hands like really pristine and been really careful with them. But I've always played with knives since I was a little kid, back in scouting days, and been a whittler. But in the past 20 some odd years, I really haven't explored knives too much. I'm also a photographer and a multi-instrumental musician, so like I've tried to keep my hands really, really safe. But last year I started getting back into knives and starting with a Swiss Army knife, and that led to several other knives, and more recently I've gotten back into fixed blades, and that was really spurred on by finding my father's knife. This old Buck 119. Of course, this is back in the day when they were made in the US. Clip point blade with a big curvy belly there. This is my father's hunting knife. And I think finding this, since he's been gone for about 20 years now, finding this knife has felt like tapping back into lineage. And it's a really great blade, maybe about a 5.5 inch blade or so. Just put that here. So that led me to my first fixed blade, which I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos. You've got some great content creators out there. That led me to Joker knives. Handmade in Spain, and this is the Lynx, and I've just really found this knife to be so superb, with a micarta handle, very smooth handle, bowler N695 steel, some jimping up top, this little drop point blade, exposed pommel with a little bit more jimping there, and a nice robust spine, and Kydex sheet. And of course, Jokers often come with a matching ferrocerium rod with some Joker branding there. There's a fellow singing in the distance. I love that. I'm not going to be lighting any fires today. I'm by the river in a special place. So this was my first fixed blade knife that I got, and it's really such a fantastic slicer and really nice, tough steel. Works, and I mostly use my knives for simple bushcraft tasks, developing my bushcraft skills, whittling, wood carving, that kind of thing. I'm not a hunter, I'm not a skinner. And food prep, I love to cook, so my knives gotta be nice at chopping some broccoli. That next led me to another Joker, which I've really come to adore. This is the Joker Pantera. And this is more of a budget steel. It's a MOVA 1.4116 steel. So it's often used, that's a steel that's often used in cutlery or surgical utensils. But it's a really sharp, really sharp blade. Has olive scale bolsters with stainless steel shoulders. I just think this is an absolutely gorgeous knife. I love the very slight drop point profile, full flat grind. As I didn't mention, the grinds. The Joker is a high saber grind. And I'm pretty sure the buck 119, I think that's a hollow grind. Reckon that is true. But I really fell in love with this Joker. It is just so slicey. It's such a great whittler. It's really great at food prep. And I just think it's just utterly gorgeous. Love the olive scale handles, and you'll be picking up on a theme here. But handmade in Spain, and like, it's not perfect. Like, there's a little unevenness right here. The Lynx, this is like flawless. It's just beautiful. But I give them a little bit of leeway that it's handmade, and just really pretty. But I've been practicing my freehand sharpening on the diamond stones with this knife because like, although it performs wonderfully, I can baton with it, feather stick with it like a dream, really great blade. I do have to spend some time with it afterwards. And so I've really been like learning my freehand sharpening with this knife. And I think that is one benefit of a less expensive steel, is if you want to learn sharpening, go use your knife out in the world and then sharpen at home and learn that craft. So I'm just learning from like Jared at Neves Knives and you know, the internets. Y'all have been pretty great. Comes with a nice leather sheath, though. This was not the sheath that it was advertised with. The one it advertised with had a little snap, but it's okay sheath. I wet formed it so it can have some better retention because it was sliding out, but just a wet forming leather. It's a fun thing to do. My next fixed blade was a little one. This is the Pocket Tango by MKM, a David C. Anderson collaboration. David C. Anderson from Knife Center. Another olive scale handle knife, and this thing has become quite the companion, always in my pocket. This sheath with the magnetic clasp is really fantastic. It just slips into my pants, and then just a little pull out. It's there at hand. And this is my first MagnaCut blade. MagnaCut's all the rage these days. But this is a lamb's foot blade, a little bit of jimping on top, a crown spine. The Italian knives, made in Italy, the Italian knives generally have these crown spines, whereas there's a 90-degree spine on the Pantera and on the Lynx, so great for striking a ferro rod, making fine shavings. But this is such a nice little compact package, under a 3-inch blade, and a nice little whittler too. not quite a full grip, but I've got medium hands, and I can sort of get a full fingered grip. But a lot of you with bigger hands are going to find it to be a 3.5 inch grip. Fantastic blade, and you can find this blade in a variety of different shapes. And this is a full flat grind as well. Yeah, MagnaCut. I have not yet had to sharpen it. I strop every time I use a knife at the end of the day, but haven't had to sharpen this yet. MagnaCut's a really neat steel. And my latest knife is on my hip here. Yeah, can we get a look at that? Another fun knife here. That's the reveal. Hopefully you can see this. All right, it's gonna stay. This is another Italian knife. So I've got 2 Spanish knives, the Jokers and an MKM from Italy, and this is from Italy, a Lionsteel B35. And this is a bushcraft blade. Again, the olive scale handles. I've got a trio of olive scaled handles now, and I just really love it. Crowned spine as well. Nice thin and slicey. Full flat grind. And this uses Sleipner steel, so that's an improvement over D2. So this is a semi-stainless, where all these other ones are full stainless. MagnaCut probably being the best stain resistance. Actually, the Mova 1.4116 in the Pantera is very, very stainless as well. So this has become one of my everyday carries. Really these two, the 2 Italian knives, have become my everyday carries. And this has been my main belt knife, and it is super slicey, super sharp. I've only stropped it just because I probably haven't even needed to, but I like to strop the knives just to make sure and care for them. Of course, it's a semi-stainless, so I do oil these knives down and clean them at the end of the day. Yeah, this has been a really pretty, beautiful knife. In fact, let's lay out all these knives here so you can take a peek. All right, we're putting these in order of acquisition. So my father's buck 119, the Joker Lynx, the Joker Pantera, the MKM Pocket Tango, and the Lionsteel B35. My pappy was a heck of a fella. He was born in 1921, and so from a very different era. He was Army Air Corps before there was an Air Force, and he re-enlisted days after Pearl Harbor and served 30 years in the Air Force. He was a fighter pilot in World War II, and he flew the small fighter planes. The P-51 Mustang was always his favorite. And later, after his flying days, he was in communications with top secret clearance in cryptology. And he was a clever, smart, joyful man. And he taught me a lot about the respect of these kinds of tools. So I'm carrying on his legacy in some ways. And on my other side, my mother was Japanese, so I was actually born in Japan on Tachikawa Air Base. I was born out of the peace in the decades following World War II, and so this is one of the blades that I really love carrying, and I think I'm carrying on the traditions of my father and my mother. My mother's family was of samurai lineage, though we were not upper class. We were from the farmers, but there's still a tradition of the warriors and tools. on both sides. So here I am being a bridge here by the river. I hope you're having a good day, and thanks for tuning in. There's going to be a lot more on this channel, a lot more sharing, and I'm a bit of a multi-potential, so I have a lot of different gifts. The channel will not just be about knives, but I'm also a licensed massage therapist. I'm a multi-instrumental musician and recording artist, and I'm in a band with the fellas, Roadside Attraction. I do photography for the city of Milwaukee and for North Clackamas Parks and Rec District. And I'm highly involved in the community, part of the Milwaukee Arts Committee as well. And I like to come out to the river as often as I can. I'm also a freakishly rare lymphoma survivor, so part of working with knives and whittling is part of my healthcare. I'll show you what I'm working on right now. I've been working on these double spiral patterns, yeah, I come out in my free time and start whittling away, even if it's for 5 minutes or so. It's a nice way to stay grounded and connected. And there's gooses flying by, and that's part of the joy of being out here in the outdoors and staying healthy, staying grounded, staying connected. This is a time of recharge for me, so I love getting out here and using my knives. And of course, because I am a massage therapist, I should show you all. I do wear a pair of cut-resistant gloves. These are from DexFit, with a nice grippy palm. So when I am carving away, I make sure I am safe and protected. So working with wood becomes a mindful task, a bit of a meditation. I can get lost out here on a summer day when I've got a day off just completely to myself and no plans. I will come out here and sit by the river for hours and carve away. Part of me's never really felt like I belonged until I got to this community of Milwaukee, and I've just found it to be such a welcoming place, and I've just gotten really, really involved in community. And I think that's something crucial to do as part of your health and well-being. Everyone's health is like, stay connected with your community, stay connected with your neighbors, keep talking to one another. Even if you got some different views on the world, then keep talking to one another. And it's okay to walk away when you need to, if someone's energy is not great. But I try and find all kinds of ways to work with my health, and both my physical health and mental health, emotional health, spiritual health, and working with wood and carving is one of those ways in which I do so. So I've been John a lot. This is Hamid. Hope to connect with you again soon, and hope you're having a really, really good day.